We'll move to item 12.
Item 12B, Department and Committee Reports and Non-Action Items. B, 2017-2021 Strategic Plan First Quarter Update. Tim Wolken, Executive Director, Community Services Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. If I could have the PowerPoint, please. And Commissioners, we're here today to present the 2018 first quarter update on our 2017-21 plan. As we've shown you in the past on this particular slide, we have 5 broad goals with an overall plan. You see those listed on the left. We have 26 strategies and 148 objectives. These are very specific and measurable, and we're working on those over the 5-year period. Commissioners, we targeted those objectives for respective years. You see in 2017, we launched on 76 of those objectives for about half of the overall 148. In 2018, we've targeted 54, or about a third of those. And then finally in 19 through 21, wrapping up with the final 18 objectives. I do want to point out that many of these are multi-year objectives. And so they may be launched in 2017, but it might take us the entire 5 years to complete those objectives, depending on grants and just multi-year projects as well. So I think we'll be very busy through the entire 5-year period, even though it looks as if we're off to a good start, I would say at this point. Commissioners, any questions on the overall process of the strategic plan? If not, we'll go on then. We have 10 today that we're presenting to you for the first quarter, addressing of those first 54 that we have. First one being is Strategy C, Objective 3, under Goal number 2, updating our county website. We have that under agenda item 12C on your agenda today. So Mr. Rose and I'm sure others will come up and present the wonderful update that we have for our website. So we'll hold off on that for a few minutes. We'll go on then to goal number 3, and I will ask Mr. Reed to come up if he would, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. When we talk about vehicle repairs, we do a little bit of searching of parts and maintaining parts within our inventory. And since we're going through a process of replacing a lot of our vehicles, we've had to inventory those parts. And out at Callahan, that still was pretty much done manually. And so what we've done now is gone to an IT solution to make it a lot more efficient, a lot more effective, which will help reduce the number of parts that we need to keep and keep the right ones in stock. Any questions for me on that?
No.
Okay. And I will have Jennifer come talk about the next goal. Do I have to hit that button, Tim, or you got it? There we go.
Commissioners, Jennifer Irvin, County Engineer. When we talk about public transportation opportunities, the county is not a public transportation provider, but we do a lot of coordination with other public transportation providers, Mountain Metro Transit, the City of Fountain, and also Silver Key and other providers. So one of the things that we look at is also providing those opportunities for people to get to those public transportation facilities. So one of the things that we've done here in the last month, and you saw here at the board, was an application for a grant, and this is for Galley Road, and this is a second phase of a project, and to provide those missing transportation links. This is along Mountain Metro Transit routes 23. Second, and we participate from both the Transportation Advisory Committee from a technical standpoint, and also I attend the PPACG board meetings as well. And we coordinate with PPACG and the other jurisdictions in regards to the update to the long-range plan. And so part of what we've been doing is making sure that transit projects are scored separately from road projects because they are different. So that's one of the things that staff made a recommendation on, is to allow transit projects to be scored separately so that they are come out of the project scoring in separate, and to make sure that they don't compete against the roads, because usually they don't compete very well. Ooh, go back. The second thing that we're very involved in is supporting the PPACG non-motorized transportation plan. And so we are working on the implementation of that, but we're also coordinating with our community service department and providing the engineering support on those projects that we are implementing. So several projects are outlined here. I'm not going to go into them all, but we are coordinating with parks to make sure that we do those projects quickly and efficiently and for the best value here in the county. And just wanted to highlight one of the projects that we just completed with our CBDG dollars that we received last year. We have substantial completion on the first phase of the Galley Road project, and this connects Powers to Hathaway, and there is a school in that area, and that provides great transportation network between those non-motorized areas, and it connects the businesses, the residents, and the community, and also provides good connectivity to that school.
Commissioners, on Strategy G, Objective 5, we're talking about various trail systems that we'd either like to construct or expand over the next 5 years as well. We'll focus on 2 today. First one is Eastonville Regional Trail. We are fortunate to receive a grant from the state of Colorado to launch on that project. We're matching that with dedicated park fees as well. It'll be a 1.5 miles of trail system within the newly constructed Falcon Regional Park. And so a great feature for the park, and I'm sure the residents will appreciate that. But I think that last sentence, it really is important as well, as really is the starting point of expanding a trail system throughout the Falcon area. Down to the bottom of the screen, you see on the right-hand side, the photograph there has Falcon High School. So we very much like to connect to that. Meridian Ranch is off to the west as well. And so over, I think, a relatively short period of time, we'll have a great Falcon trail system through that particular area. So we're excited to launch on this respective project. And then finally, Ute Pass Regional Trail, and Jim talked a bit about that already, is building approximately 1 mile of trail from Ute Pass Elementary School to Winnemucca Road. That's based on the Ute Pass Regional Trail Master Plan that you approved several years ago. Once again, fortunate to receive a state trails grant for that. We're matching that with County Park 1A funds that we received as well. Hope to launch on that in the fall of 2018. We have had a number of calls from parents saying it'd be great if we had a safe route to schools in this particular area. That trail should really help with that as well. Questions of me on either one of these projects?
Any questions? No? Okay.
Okay. If not, we'll bring Mr. Reed back up again.
One of the things with your assistance, we were able to fund a new meter, chemical meter. Our chemical meter was well over a decade old, and it's not supported anymore. But this meter that we use is extremely special because it limits the exposure to the chemical that we're dealing with. It's able to see through glass, and in most cases through packages, and tell us what's in that, what chemical compound is in that package. So the days of us opening something up to see what's in there are pretty much gone. We'll be able to see through that. So we continue to do the school hazmat inspections, which I think is important. And we also continue to identify hazardous materials within the community. Any questions for me?
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's pretty awesome. I just had no idea that we had one previously, and then we're replacing it. But how often does it get used? Is it?
So it's quite often.
Really?
There are several schools within the county that we help monitor their hazardous materials. And I think Commissioner Littleton and Commissioner Glenn were here when we did the Whitefield School. We did the entire district. It was a 3-day cleanup. So, and keep in mind, we also work with environmental, Tim's folks over there for the turn-ins. So it's used quite often. Yeah.
Okay, well, great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Commissioners, on our last 4 objectives, Chris Garver from DHS will present.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, Chris Garvin, Department of Human Services. I'd like to report on Goal 5, Strategy C, Objective 10, which is actively participate in age-friendly Colorado Springs initiative. DHS Adult Services staff participate in a monthly Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition meeting to support and promote age-friendly El Paso County initiatives by focusing on prevention and abuse of at-risk adults. We also provide a lot of educational and prevention-focused events in the community, and are currently working with the coalition to build a sustainable program or model for emergency placements for at-risk seniors and at-risk younger folks. On objective or strategy F, objective 2, assist clients in addressing employment barriers related to substance abuse, mental health issues, and domestic violence. During the first quarter of 18, we placed 332 TANF recipients into employment. Those numbers are actually January and February. March's hasn't come out yet, but I can tell you unofficially, probably add about 170 to that total, so close to 500 jobs this quarter. We also address their barriers to substance abuse and mental health and domestic violence through referrals to Medicaid and core service providers in the community. Strategy G, Objective 1, increasing kinship placements for children when they cannot remain at home. We're doing well on this performance measure. Currently, we have an average of 443 children in kinship placements, and that's very important. We want to keep kids with families, so if we can do that at all possible, we do that. Currently have a total of 933 children out of home placements, so slightly less than half are in kinship, so that's great. Strategy G, Objective 3, increase prevention services to families to prevent the need for our involvement. The federal Families First Act passed in February. This act will allow counties to increase prevention efforts using our 4E waiver funds and maintain parts of the 4E waiver that are set to expire in January. Commissioner Waller and Julie Crow presented a resolution at NACO last year to support that and to pass Families First Act, which it did in February. So very pleased with that. Thank you. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions? Thank you.
Always thank you for your support of our department.
Yes.
Thanks.
Commissioners, that wraps up our first quarter presentation. We will see you in July for our next presentation.
Commissioner Littleton.
Thank you. Tim, I just want to just extend my thanks to you again. This has been just such a delight it was one of the very first projects I had the opportunity to work with you on back in 2011 when I first became a county commissioner, and that is revamping our strategic plan. Our strategic plan used to be an entire book and pages that was this thick, and it wasn't streamlined, it wasn't focused. So we said, we're going to set 5 goals, 5 big goals, and work those down into the strategies and objectives that are achievable, that are measurable, that are a way to ensure that we are investing the funds that are entrusted to us in a strategic manner. And I thank you for your continued leadership on this now that we did the 2012 to 2016 and now 2017 to 2021 strategic plan. It's been, I think, a real boon to our community. I'd like to have our guy go to, is it Christian up there today? Go to our El Paso County website, if you would, right quick, and just show people where they can go online, because it's clear and transparent to everybody, where they can access the El Paso County strategic plan. It's going to be a little bit different, and maybe you can address that when we go through the new website, because I think it's going to be in a different place than it was. Do you see our strategic plan right there? There we go. So people can, you can go ahead and click on that just real quick. But there is a way people can go in there and actually see a dashboard. What have we accomplished? What are we going to be accomplishing? And where do we align in those? And I always thank you and our Department of Human Services and people who actually take time when they're submitting agenda items to us to put what goal, what strategy, and what objective that particular item on our agenda fulfills. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Great. Thank you very much.